All right, and I think we're live. Hi, everybody. I am Jim Majors, and this is I Mustache You a Question, and I am here today with Cassandra. Cassandra is a practicing pagan. She's going to tell us a little bit about her religious experiences in Wicca, in witchcraft, and paganism. Hi, Cassandra.
Hello.
How are you? Thank you so much for joining me.
Good. How are you? And you're welcome.
If I was any better, I would have a twin. Okay, before we get into this, for everybody in the side chat, if you have questions for Cassandra at any point, please tag me in them and I will ask them. I'll ask them as soon as possible if they're currently relevant, or if they're not relevant, I will ask them at the end of the interrogation. I mean discussion. Shoot. Um, okay, so for those of us watching, or those of you, them, others watching, what is paganism? What does it mean to be Wiccan? Can you just break that down in a quick elevator speech?
So elevator speech is to respect nature as it was human or it was alive. Some people don't believe it's alive, but that's their prerogative. And it has just to respect nature, respect people, treat everyone equally. And that's pretty much the basics of it, unless you want to get into the whole magic thing, but that's everyone's prerogative.
Yeah, I think that's where everybody else's minds jump to, and their interests are piqued. So when you say magic, are we talking about like a willow wand with a tail feather of a phoenix, or?
I mean, they're the ones that do the workings or the miracles that people call it. It depends on what path you follow, because there's so many paths. Me personally, I do the whole magic thing unless I want to go ask it to grow nicely. And then I'm just speaking my intention from my, please grow, I need you to grow. And that's
Right. So you talk about like the miracles, and there are people who do that. Is that the same thing as spell casting, or are those two different things?
it depends. Some people say they're different. I say they're the same, because either spells or workings or it all kind of has to have your intention behind it. And that's what most of our religion and our practice, you put your intention behind what you want, and eventually you're going to get it if you have the right intention.
Gotcha. Okay, I think that makes sense. So how did you come about being pagan, or becoming interested in it?
I was interested at a long time. I was going gothic. Everyone assumed I was going gothic because I would do some weird stuff. I was a cook, and I was into it from like until I was about 10, and then some family things happened, school life happened, and I kind of lost my way looking as a preteen going to a teenager. I wanted to find something beyond myself. So I got into the Christian religion for about 3 years, and some bad things happened while I was in that Christian religion. A lot of lying, cheating, stealing, bullying, all of that, and I was just through with that. And then about 13 to 14, I moved to my grandmother's house, got back into little Wiccan witch thing. At like 20, I left. I just left Maine. I left for the army, and I kind of stopped practicing until like a year ago, when things started to calm down and I felt more comfortable. So it's been an on again, off again, love-hate relationship.
So just out of curiosity, when I was in the military in basic, we had, chapel on Sundays, and they had, mass for the Catholics, and they had Baptist church, they had Protestant, and they had, Buddhist, and they also had a Wiccan place. Did you also have that where you went?
So I went to Jackson for BCT and Fort Benning for AIT.
Oh,
Had anything for like anything besides like Buddha. We had a few Buddhas, but other than that, it was mostly Christians and Catholics. There was another one, but it wasn't anything that was outside those like realms.
probably Islam, maybe.
Yes, I think it was that because I went in 2014, so they were like starting to allow that, I believe.
Yeah, they had that back in 05 when I was in. I was actually in Fort Benning in 07, I think, for jump school. Never been to Jackson though. I was Navy.
Yeah, Jackson. I only remember Christian.
So whenever you came back to Wicca, or to I mean, how did that happen? Like, is it something that you just wanted to, or is it something that you felt like you needed to do? Were you compelled to do it?
I would say I was more compelled to do it. Like it's always been like I was drawn to it. It was never someone talking about it and it piques my interest again. I hear people talking about it, and I don't know, one day where I was like, oh, I'm gonna get back into this, and it's been going strong for about a year again. So kind of a newbie witch again. So
right. So what are the biggest benefits that you get from it? Like, what are some things that you get from Wicca that you don't or can't get from anywhere else?
I mean, you gain knowledge and you gain friends if you do the whole coven stuff. But other than that, it's just you don't really gain anything besides you learn how to make things like candles, essential oils from the stuff around you. But other than that, I don't see like you gain much.
From what I've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you choose the coven path and you choose a certain coven or a certain line or certain lineage of witches, a branch, or whatever you want to call it, then you have to adhere to their practices. Where is that correct?
Yes. So with covens, is you have a high priestess or a high priest. It doesn't matter. We just as whatever. It is pretty much, or he is in charge, and what she or he says goes. And it's never been my cup of tea. So
don't you have to have both male and female? Because isn't it like a priest only a priest can make a priestess and vice versa? Isn't that right?
It depends on your path again. Like it's all about paths. There are some paths of witches that be like you must have at least 3 males and at least 2 females in the coven, like, and then there's all female covens and all male covens. It just depends on that path.
And by paths, you mean like sex? I guess would that be another word for it? Like the different sects of Wicca?
So when I mean by paths, it's of each witch in Wicca is different. You can be a Wicca and not do a witch and not believe in Wicca or neo-paganism or paganism. It depends on your path. Like witches, there are gray witches, dark witches, and a whole bunch of other kitchen witches.
I see.
Outside witches, elemental witches. Yeah.
So it's not so much like one collective doctrine, but it's more like individual journeys, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha. Really cool. So in the year that you've been back, I mean, how's this year been compared to what it was when you were a kid? Like, is it something that you like still feel familiar with, or does it feel the same, or does it have more meaning or a different meaning to you now?
When I was a kid, it was kind of just like a social and to like me and do it, since I'm that weird kid when I was a child. But now it has a different meaning, and it means a little bit more to me, because I know I can do things without other people, and just by following this path some more. And it's like reading the Bible. Each passage says something different to you. So this is what fits me right now in this.
Oh, I got you. So your religion, or your path is just interpreting more or less the same information in a way that's beneficial to you in that moment.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is a lot like how most people read the Bible. I was one of those Christians, that I thought that this is when I was young, that whenever I was in a hard spot or I was feeling down, I could always just crack the Bible open and just point on the page somewhere and just read that page, and then somewhere in there I would find wisdom that would, or some clarity that would help me through there. And it was really silly, because you don't know how many times I read the page over and over, and I'm like, it's not here. Maybe the wind blew the page. Maybe it's another page. I don't know what's going on here.
It's so true. That's how I was. Like the pastor would sells me that scripture at that day on Sunday school, and be like, yeah, that's so my life right now. I believe you. That's how I was, and that's kind of still how I am with this religion. I mean, some people call it a prerogative.
So my sister is actually in the live chat. She is never in any of my videos. I just want to say hi to Janan real quick. Hi, Janan, and to my 3 sweet nieces, Robin and Aaliyah and Eden, and my nephew. And I miss you guys and love y'all. And yeah, so sorry, I had to take that quick detour.
No, that's fine.
So what is it that you want people to know about your religion, if anything?
So the one thing that I really want people to know is that we are not going out there sacrificing people's animals. We're not out there sacrificing each other, just like,
why not?
The Hollywood movies that you see. I mean, but a lot of us don't. It's not really our thing. But then again, you get into the whole defects of the paths that we take. But what you see in Hollywood about Ouija boards and all that that's not the exact set in stone how it's done. You're not going to get possessed if you have a Ouija board. All what you see in Hollywood's wrong. So that's my biggest thing.
So I know that there are some different gods and goddesses and different paths or different pantheons that people mix and match, but is that a necessity, the belief in a deity or supernatural or anything like that?
No, you don't. You can be on this path and you for 25 years and not do for goddesses, gods, and deities and entities. You don't have to do anything. Self-sufficient with how you want to do your path. Me personally, I only cherish one god or goddess, to be honest, and that's Lilith. And is really upset about Lilith, and she's known as evil, but
no. She's not evil. She just liked being on top. She was a dominant woman. She didn't want to walk behind her man.
That's what I'm saying. Is like she is known as evil about her, but she's not. She's a woman that
she's
a goddess of. That's why I kind of worship her, not with her, and call upon her if need be.
Right, right. Yeah. And well, and it's the same thing with Jezebel. You know, Jezebel is demonized and denigrated and drugged through the mud when she is just a proud woman, proud of her culture, and defended it with her very life. She was completely faithful to her husband. She didn't steal. She didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
But yet she is demonized, just like Lilith. I don't remember Lilith getting tempted by the serpent and eating the forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
So she can't be that bad.
In my opinion, she none of it, and this may satanic, and I practice that, but even like Lucifer, he was thrown out of the garden because the apple of knowledge, and God said no. So his from his shoulders, and he was cast. But that's other people's prerogative if they worship him, which some do. It's just I don't, because he's not my person.
Right. Well, he was cast out of heaven first, but even then, it was just because he wanted to be seen as as an equal. He didn't want to be seen as greater, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. So your belief in Lilith, like, what is? Can you kind of walk through that? Like, what is your relationship like? What is your interactions, if any?
So the only interactions, if I call upon her, which I haven't. I mean, I have like my little altar set up for her, my little pocket altar set up for her. If I ask for, hey, can you protect my family and my child at this time because I'm going out shopping or something, that's the only time I'll really be like, hey, Lilith, can you come protect them? I'll have whatever in this house, just protect. That's all. Thing too extreme, like give me money and go wash my car or some stupid off the wall Hollywood thing like that.
Sure. Does that give you relief? Does that ease your nerves? Like when you're out, like do you notice a tangible difference between the times that you don't call upon Lilith versus the times that you do?
No, not really, because I'm a worry person, and like if I go to the store that's down the road, tag, because people are crazy and they drive like maniacs around here, so I still get scared and paranoid of just everything.
Yeah, I traffic is one of my least favorite things. I have PTSD, and that's one of the things that will set it off worse than anything.
Yeah.
Is like shitty drivers. Just it doesn't even have to be bad traffic. Just somebody cut me off or ride my ass or something like that, and it's it just drives me through the roof.
That started when I was in Texas, when I was stationed over there, and it's just gotten worse. It's never been like this. So,
San Antonio?
Colleen.
Oh, Colleen. Okay, cool. Yeah, I used to live not far from there. I lived in Keller. Well, I lived all over DFW. Lived in Houston, San Antonio, San Angelo, West Texas, pretty much all over Texas except like the very, very south. Let's see. So does anybody have any questions at all for Cassandra? Or Cassandra, do you have questions for me? Any at all?
I'm perfectly fine with it. No, I haven't thought of anything, and
well, let's see. I have a bunch of questions that I can ask. Let's just see how crazy we want to get here. Okay, do you I don't know if you answered this or not yet. You may have, and I may have missed it, and I apologize if I did. Do you uh, do any spell work or anything like that? Like any binding or?
The last spell was about three years ago when I was going through a rough time family wise, and all I send negative energy back. It's called a mirror spell. It's just what they spew to you goes back towards them, so it doesn't hit you. If that makes sense.
Right. How does that work with the principle of three or the rule of three? Like, does that come back to you as well, or is it different?
I don't believe in the.
Oh, I thought that was like foundational. I thought that was like the core tenet.
If you believe in rule of three, then you're gonna have rule of three. If you don't, and you think it's kind of like, then that's how I look at it. But I just don't believe in the rule of three. I think it means something totally different than what everyone is saying.
Do you think it's maybe something kind of like the what do you call it? I'll throw on the tip of my tongue. Oh man. Placebo. Do you think it's a like a placebo effect?
Yes,
Like
I do.
for those. Oh, okay.
If you believe in the rule of three, like if you're like set in stone that the rule of three exists, what you do is going to come back because it's all about intention. So if you have an intention that rule of three is going to come back, it's going to come to you. Believe in rule of three, nor do I care. So I just send energy out there.
Got you. So do you like send mostly good energy? I'm guessing.
Yes, most of the time I send good energy. The only time I've ever done like a bad spell was to send the negative energy back. That's the only time.
Is that the same thing as a curse, or?
So there are curses there, but the mirror spell is under the category if you want to think about it like that. So it really just it's kind of hard to explain. It's taking their negative energy that they're spewing at you. Like, say that you have a bully, and the bully is just running their mouth and harass day after day after day, and you do everything the right way. You say stop, and you tell the teachers, and you do all that stuff, and nothing's being done. So I'm not gonna tell people how to make it, but you just do the mirror spell and send all that back to them. I think my internet.
Okay, let's see.
Okay,
can everybody hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Wow, I don't. That was weird.
Yeah.
I think I think I accidentally clicked mute before I switched my browser tabs, and I was just talking.
My phone break and my internet go out. Like, what's going on?
I forgot what I was even saying. Oh, I don't know what I was saying. But do you see this being something like a lifelong practice, or is this something that you feel is like filling a temporary void, or it's serving a temporary purpose?
To be honest, it could be filling up a temporary purpose and void. But I mean, I've been doing this since I was 5, on and off since I was 5, and I'm 26 now. So like 3 years, like 3 to 4 years of me not really doing witchcraft, and then doing the whole Christianity thing. But other than that, it's always been kind of there in the back, lingering. So I honestly couldn't tell you. Depends on my mood.
Gotcha. So do you use the pinnacle? Because if you do, I would like you to tell everybody like what it means to you, because I know it means different things to different people, and when it's, you know, whether it's a pinnacle or a pentagram, so on and so forth.
I don't how to explain this. I don't believe in using it because I don't believe in circles of protection either. And that's kind of where you use it, is if you're summoning and you need a circle of protection and you want to do the whole earth, wind, spirit, fire, air thing. I don't really do that either. I'll do the whole earth, air, wind, fire thing, but the pentacle, no. That's just a tool. You don't need all the fancy stuff.
I just do earth, wind, and fire.
But the spirits north, like right up top. So.
Oh, no, I mean, like, you know, like September, Boogie Wonderland, Let's Groove.
Oh, no.
I'm a little bit older than you. I'm almost 10 years older than you, I think. Yeah. But yeah, well, that's even old for me. I don't even know why I should be thinking about that. It's not even good music. It's awful. All right, let's see. Let's see if anybody else has asked a question.
If in the US, I probably won't listen to it.
Okay, this isn't really relevant, but I have a feeling that this might be interesting. But if you don't want to answer it, then you can just say pass. Harlequin asks, Cassandra, not that I'd want you to incriminate yourself, nor would I, but do you incorporate any psychedelics? I'm guessing in your rituals or practices.
How to explain this? I don't use psychedelics, but people do use psychedelics. So if you take a psychedelic, or use a divination tool, or you meditate, you're more like experience things you really haven't. But there's some people that don't need it that can experience all that.
If I take a psychedelic before I do anything, I'm about to experience something I've never experienced.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, but no,
it's like I need to go to the bathroom. Consider what?
Unless you consider mugwort as a psychedelic, but that's the only thing I've really taken.
It's psychoactive,
like the herb,
I'd say, for sure.
Mugwort in the little bag. Well, yeah. That's like the only herb I take, and I haven't taken that in like the last 7 months because it wasn't really alive taking it.
I take cannabis. Cannabis is the only herb that I currently use. I used mushrooms semi recently, but my favorite hallucinogen is or my favorite psychedelic, I guess, is would have to be LSD. I've had some really really amazing psychological breakthroughs for myself. I've experienced ego death, which I think is one of the most beautiful, amazing things that a person can experience. And I never found that in religion. That's one thing that I don't think you can find in religion.
No. Sit well with me. Last time I tried weed, I was like 16, and I was like paranoid schizophrenic, so never again. So.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. I mean, paranoid and schizophrenic, like, I mean, if you're on LSD, paranoid and schizophrenic, it's like, you know, my buddy's a caterpillar and the rat ate all my Cheetos. But
no, it was
when you're not at that level of tripping, it's not fun.
No, it was not. I thought people were like following me, stalking me, and I was in my house just chilling. I'm like,
Oshkosh Bajosh says DMT. Yeah, I like DMT, but I don't like how short it lasts, and I don't like how. To me, DMT just it gives you blue balls. You know, like you almost get there, you almost get there, and then that's it, and then you're back.
I've never tried it. I barely
It,
drink. I don't have time.
it's interesting. Like when I say like you almost get there, I mean you almost discover the answer to the universe and everything, and it's not 42, and you know it, and then well, that's it. I've only gone in 3 levels deep, Josh, but I won't push I won't push into 4. That's about as deep as I'll go. I don't know how we got on this, but this is interesting. Try
Well, I heard
DMT
that
in
if you take
conjunction.
DMT, well, that's what they said is if you take DMT and like try to talk to the dead, which I mean, when on Halloween is you can be successful, or the Wicca man doing DMT if it's that strong.
Yeah, I've always experienced the elves or like the warm bodies, like the love. Like it just felt like I was being surrounded by like my family, and they've been waiting for me, and they have this home cooked meal for me, and they my room's ready, and like they've got the welcome banner, like not really, but that's what it feels like. And then they say we have something to show you. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. Like just come here, come look at this. Like you're gonna love this. This is amazing. I've never shown anybody this, and they get you all worked up and excited about being revealed these great secrets, and then you're out.
Oh my god.
Yep. I think that there. I don't think that it's. I don't think that there's anything divine about hallucinogens, but I think that there is something
Yeah.
very what I consider sacred that takes place because it's an experience unlike any other, you know. And I'm not talking about
Yeah.
like uh, you know, oh well, so is hacksawing your foot off. That's an experience like any other. It's like yeah, but this is but this is an experience that to me is it it has a net benefit. It might have some negative downfalls or whatever. It might make you think that your girlfriend or boyfriend is Satan for a second, But I think overall that psychedelics generally open up doors to places that everybody should go, and that I think that once you go to those places, once you open those doors remain open long after the effects of the psychedelics, to the point to where you can really expand your capacity for abstract thought outside of the hallucination.
Well, yeah, that's where if you take it with our religion and you get into chakra stuff, that's a whole nother level of stuff
Yeah.
that some people are afraid of, and some people do that, but then they're so afraid of opening those doors that they want to. It's like it depends on the person, I think.
I've taken LSD several times, and every time, with music, I can feel like, I've seen the chart, like, where the chakras are. I know where all the chakras
Yep.
are, and I can feel those spots, and it makes my back arch. Like they feel like real centers of energy in a way that you don't experience, outside of everything. But I think that's where it stems from. I honestly do. Let's see. Nerdy Rodent says, I did not eat all of the Cheetos.
Cheetos sound good.
don't I don't believe Nerdy Rodent. Nerdy Rodent definitely ate all the Cheetos. Never felt a chakra in my life. Well, I don't know that I have either. I know that
with all the times I've meditated, I've never felt it either.
Yeah, I went through a period, and I still do, just not as regularly as I used to, of where I practice mindful meditation, and I saw real benefit in that. And it's probably something that I need to get more back into, but it's something that really helped me get in tune with myself, instead of becoming familiar with the person who covers up the pain and covers up, all of the bad memories and stuff like that, and become the person who lives with it, who incorporates those things into their lives and makes their life better for it. And I think that was probably one of the best decisions that I ever made, was to, and I don't know that I could have done it without hallucinogens, to be honest with you, because I don't know that I could be able to not only accept myself, but be able to work with myself in a way that I could, be proud of myself, I guess, to put it, I don't know, without having to go into, a whole spiel or whatever. That's I think it's overall good. But I think that's a lot of the good experiences with religion, the mass hysteria that I felt as a Pentecostal when I would, quote unquote, receive the Holy Spirit. That's that to me was a good feeling, or praying to God for my safety before a road trip. It made me feel better, that as I was driving, well, God has his hand on my shoulder. It does bring you calm, but I don't think that's anything that you can't provide for yourself if you can be confident and be as convicted in your belief in yourself as you are in your belief in a deity.
Well, yeah, that's what Wicca is you got to have intent and believe in yourself before you can just go and call down whatever god, goddesses you want. Is you got to believe in yourself and do yourself first. It's not...
I think that's great, because, like people like my grandmother, it's so funny. She lived with me for a while after my grandpa died. She now lives with my mom. Thank goodness. So she lived with me for like 3 years. Mima, if you're watching this, I love you. Just kidding. And she would have this list, and she'd get a phone call and she'd, hello. Oh, hi, Jean. Oh, who needs prayer? And she'd have this prayer list, and they had these prayer worries that would call each other, and they would, once somebody found out about somebody's problem in town, well, they would call everybody else on that list and say, hey, did you know blah, blah, blah. And they weren't interested in prayer. It was gossiping with notes. Like that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like that's all that it was. So like,
it was so bad.
Never saw her pray for any of those people, and even if she did, I doubt she had any intent behind it. So I think it's great that whatever it is that you believe in, however it is that you practice it, that not only is it not harmful, it's not dogmatic, it's not something that you're pushing on other people, but it's something that I believe is overall good, that it is a net good, because you are giving yourself purpose, and you're putting purpose into everything that you do.
Right. And that's pretty much what all it is. It's not, most of us don't like going around and be like, hey, coven tonight, let's go. It's not really who we are. And we try to be in the shadows and observe and watch and be like, oh, I can help that person plant it. Put their magical potion that they made, but it's to help plant it, or they try to come advice and give advice. It's just, we just watch and we lurk in the back of the room and try to help the best we can know.
Yeah, stand in the back of the room glaring at people twisting your crystals, just thinking about what you're going to do to us.
Oh my god. Okay, so like our crystals are kind of mean something to us. We don't want your bad vibes to rub on that. Like that messes up our mojo.
Oh, you saying I ain't worth rubbing your crystal? I mean, geez, like your crystals. Bet your
First, we're gonna have to take our little sage stick and sage you and then the crystals and be like, okay, you can just keep that crystal now. It's been purified.
Did you say sage?
Yeah, take some Pilanto and some sage and sage you and then sage the crystal and just give you the crystal.
Like a smudge stick, like a purifying thing?
We call it sage because smudge is kind of a Native American. Mm-hmm. That's their thing, is they smudge.
Interesting. I don't. Oh my. Okay. I don't know. I don't have any other questions really. Like, I mean, any other questions that I get into, I think we would just get into a whole other thing. Okay, so are there any other religions that appeal to you, like besides Wicca? Like, has there been anything besides Christianity that's like piqued your interest?
Buddha.
Or
I've tried Buddha for like a month. Yeah, they were good, but they're more strict than I like them to be. And I mean, it's strict in a good way, but like kind of like just chill.
Taoist? Were they tout or?
It was the one at basic training. That whole Buddha thing was basic training. So.
Right. I remember. I don't remember what the recruits that went to the Buddhist temple got to have. You know, besides their dog tags, they got to have something religious. I want to say it was like maybe a bracelet. I don't remember.
I honestly didn't know. There was only like 5 Buddhists, and I just started going, and because I didn't like the other saying. They were all about meditating and relaxing and not speaking for like 45 minutes, which was awesome. It's just they did something, but they never showed, went around, be like, look what I got because I'm a Buddha. They just kind of like played low.
Right. Yeah. I think there's something to be said and respected for religions that mind their own damn business.
Yeah. Really, there is.
Like I've never had, somebody practice, say like Sikhism or Baha'i or Hinduism, come up to me and ask me to go to their services. It's, if I get a knock on the door and somebody's talking about religion, they're wanting to save me from hell. They don't. That's every time. 100 times out of 100.
Yeah. The people that come knocking on my door was witnesses, but I don't know how to get rid of them, and I try, and they kind of just keep coming back, and I don't know.
I actually have a habit of getting blacklisted by Jehovah's Witnesses. They'll come out for 4 or 5 weeks until they bring their elders out, and then it's the following week that I'll get a text or something saying, I'm sorry, but I can no continue our Bible studies. I for the first few weeks, I tend to send them back with more questions than they have answers, and it builds up and it makes them uncomfortable. But I enjoy talking about it.
I'm just to my door.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's hard for me to find people who like to talk about the Bible. So I actually enjoy seeing Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm like, yes, somebody I can just talk their freaking ear off. Like, come in, guys. Like, roll your sleeves up. Let's get into this. Uh, but they don't ever stay
I
friends.
found like the most hatred when I talk about like the Bible, like asking simple questions. I always get the you're gonna go to hell type of thing. It's by the extremists and the Christianity, not the extremists. And when I bring up Moses went to the mountain for like I don't remember how many days, but he came down, had hallucinogenics, and he was talking to his spirit guide. That's when I throw in my religion. I was like, how do we know that Jesus wasn't actually a male witch? Like he can do miracles and turn water to wine. We know he wasn't a witch.
Yeah. How do you know he wasn't an alien?
And then they just that's what I'm saying is they get so mad when I start questioning simple little facts like Moses split the sea type of thing, and they just get so mad and always throw "you're going to hell" at me, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I just want to have a discussion so I can learn.
Well, with Christians, even the ones that don't threaten you with hell, it's always a carrot and a stick situation. But it's all about what degree of severity. It's always like this is the benefit of Christianity, and this is the cost of not having Christianity, or not being Christian.
Yeah.
And they'll go anywhere from, oh well, if you're not Christian, then you just won't have a very fulfilling life. Maybe there's so much more to offer you in Christianity, and then all the way to the extremes of, well, you'll burn in hell, but not before your children do, so you can watch them. That's which is something
I've had that before,
I've actually been told.
Yeah. I was told that because when I stopped going to the church, my bus driver that would pick us up to take us into Sunday school, he called my grandma. If she doesn't go to Sunday school, you're not going to be able to save her soul. And I'm like, what? Why are you like telling us like a 13-year-old this? Why are you saying this? Right? And it just bothered me.
Right. Well, and they say it to kids. Like that's the problem. It's not not even a 17. Whereas at 17, maybe you can differentiate and rationalize a little bit, better than you could as an adolescent. But they tell kids at 6, 7 years old, and not only that, but if the church doesn't tell them, their parents tell them, because it's a real life boogeyman for them. It's a man in the closet, a man under their bed, but he's real, and they can use them for that leverage. That's what my parents did to me. If I was getting bad grades in school, it was always, is this what Jesus would do? Would Jesus get bad grades?
I was kind of lucky in that aspect, not having like religious people in my life like that.
Yeah, I would have to say so. So what, like growing up, like your parents weren't Christian?
No, my grandmother never instilled into my mom that religion was kind of a bad thing in my family. And when I started Wicca, I was considered a goth and a freak and all that. And then she took us to the only church that was in the middle of nowhere, and we just started going, and she got married there, and we got baptized there, and then things happened at that church that I didn't believe in anymore, and it kind of pushed all that faith X on the door.
Just prima facie, it seems like it was more of an emotional investment for your parents, and they just kind of drug you guys along with it.
I mean, at first, yeah, but I was a child and I really liked choirs and I wanted to be out of the house, so that was kind of like a scapegoat to get out of the house, is to go to church.
Sure. Well, yeah, and it's another group of friends. Like I loved my church community because that like it was a second home, you know. Critical Cripple asks is Cassandra, with respect, why is it that you wouldn't tell us how to do the mirror spell?
So mirror spells are considered black magic, and if I have in here baby new witch, if I have a baby witch or someone starting out in the practice, I don't want them to be like, I've done 5 months of research, here's a spell because so and so gave me this, do it. They need to learn more about the religion and about what they can do and find their path before the black magic spells, because it can backfire if not done properly and you don't know how to do it, because there's ingredients that you have to make before you actually do the spell.
Gotcha. So it's something you have to build up to, right? It's not something that's like I guess for entry level.
Exactly. If there was a witch that came on here that's been practicing for at least a year and a day, I would consider it. Probably not. It depends on how much knowledge they actually know and how many spells they've tested out, like baby spells first. So those big spells of sending back negative energy that's been cast upon, there's more likely that it could backfire on you, or it could go the right way, but the new witches to learn how to do it until they learn. That's the only reason why.
What are like some of the consequences of doing it, not being prepared or not doing it properly?
You can like blow up your kitchen if you do it wrong because you wanted to mix some wrong chemical with something that you don't really know how to do it.
That's not a mirror
it could
spell.
Just not work.
That's not a mirror spell. That's a meth lab.
No, so you have to make a certain type of salt, and it requires ingredients that the first time I was doing it, I accidentally set pot on fire by accident. The first time I had to do it. So.
So maybe
I'm just saying there.
So maybe a witch for a year and a day plus a chemistry major?
I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, as long as they know how to, like, do some, and not be, like, get all cocky and just go put, like, vinegar with bleach in it. Like, I'm just saying, like, you don't want bad things to happen when you're trying to do something for yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I saw another question here. I just passed it. Oh, hey, Daily Atheist and Sweet Heathen, alias fake name, Nerdy Rodent. Ugh. Anybody else that I missed that I haven't already got to? IQ. Hey, let's see. Let's see. We already talked about the mirror spell. Okay, well, if somebody asks a question and I missed it, just send it again. I think. Yeah, I don't see it. Oh well. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, get them in now. It's we're about an hour into it. We're gonna start wrapping it up pretty soon. So if you've ever wanted to ask somebody who practices witchcraft, I guess you could call her a witch. This is the AMA. This is your time. Do you have a broom closet?
Clarify broom closet. Like, do I keep my brooms in my closet? I mean,
yeah, like a closet for your brooms. Do you have special brooms or just regular brooms?
That that's a different type of practice. Different types of practices like hoodoo believe in the whole broom rituals and broom that. And I broom in the closet because that's a cleaning closet. So I mean, yeah, no.
Can modern hoodoo practitioners use Swiffers?
I mean, they believe don't sweep over some luck. So I mean, I guess they can.
Oh, if they got a Roomba, they wouldn't have that problem.
Those are overpriced, and they better like make my bed, do my laundry for me for that price. That's what I'm saying.
Mine doesn't do that, but it charges itself, which is kind of cool. But then like every 2 charges, it's like, hey, you have to empty me, you know? And I'm like, no, I don't. Fucking park yourself, bitch.
I'm waiting for like the questions about Ouija boards and pendulums and stuff. Like these are all like basic Google questions so far.
Yeah, I know. But I already know. I already think I know the answer to those questions. I'm pretty sure that I do. I don't think that I'm.
I mean, I'm pretty
Quite
sure you do.
that naive.
I'm talking about like other people. No, like it's common sense, but most people believe the Hollywood theatrics over that stuff.
When sacrificing a baby, if you use a premature newborn, does the spell still work or just like part way?
I mean, babies of any it's kind of
Well,
frowned down upon.
I mean,
But I mean, if
I mean,
you're into I
slaughter.
mean, you should go as a Satanist.
I mean,
Satanist.
whatever you want to call it.
I'm
Okay,
not a
you don't.
Satanist. They're Satanist.
Right, you don't sacrifice babies. I got it. Got it.
I mean,
Why
I
would you
sacrifice trees over babies.
sacrifice a what?
I'll sacrifice a tree over a baby.
Oh, a tree.
At least I can
Oh
plant a new
yeah.
tree.
This is true. Well, you can plant babies, but they don't grow.
So weird.
Let's see. Okay, where can I find Eye of Newt? I don't know if that's a real question.
I mean, I don't think it's a real question. I don't know if they're like being laughable or serious. Because I've never
Probably
heard that in my
laughable.
line of area.
I would probably say that you get the Eye of Newts from a newt. That's yeah. Let's see. Oh, Harlequin says, Cassandra, did you say that you were a writer?
A writer?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, not a.
I am horrible at English. No.
Well, I can barely detect your accent. You speak it great.
I've worked a few. Calm it down. Jackson, the drill sergeants would always be like, "What are you saying?" So yeah.
So whenever you first described Wicca to me and your religious journey, so to speak, your religious path, you mentioned like being in tune with nature and animals and things like that. Is that akin to animism or totemism?
It could be. It really could be, but it can also just like I'm an empath. Oh my god, and towards nature, and I can vibe with nature more than I can humans per se. Like some people can feel humans' people's pains, and some humans can just see the pain in their dog's eye. That's kind of what I mean. It's just I vibe more and feel more of nature than I do anything else.
Yeah, I believe that some people are more perceptive than others. That people are uh, more empathic, as you say. Oh, Nerdy Road's got a really good question. Are there any spells novices can do at home? So like me, like I've never done witchcraft, never done a spell or anything like that. Is there something that I can do today?
A sour jar. It's the most basic spell, black magic spell to get back at the people that have done you wrong. Like this, everyone knows a sour jar spell or a freeze jar spell.
That's a beginner's spell. I thought you were gonna like play tic-tac-toe and you're pulling out the chessboard on me.
No, a sour jar is like you put everything disgusting in a mason jar and you put like a person's name or their picture, you shake that, sit it in a dark place for months upon months, and you keep shaking it. Like it's the simplest jar spell you could ever.
You put the picture in the jar? Okay, and you said that that intent is really important. So, what are your intentions during this ritual? Like what's going through your head?
It depends on the person. Like if I did it and I was being bullied and I did a sour jar, I'll be like, I want this person to be bullied. Blank straight, I want them to be bullied. And you shake it while you're same time, I want them to be bullied. Now, if you want the bullying to spell, you put that person in the jar with nasty things, you put in your freezer, and you be like, those are the two easiest spells for. Can they backfire? Yes, they can backfire.
Okay, so maybe not good for a novice then. So like, what do you mean backfire? Like, what would you do wrong?
I mean, if sometimes the pressure in the jars can explode, like crack the jars because you put vinegar in there with them, with all that nasty stuff, so the pressure is building up because you're shaking it. Or if you put it in the freezer, the glass, you could just have really bad luck and you assume it's a jar. It depends on what you believe.
Well, that's why you put one of those little vents. Just put a little vent on it, so it blows off the extra, pressure.
No, it has to be closed. It has to build that pressure because it's like a 3-month progress. It builds that pressure and builds and builds. That's why it's in a dark. If it's in your closet in your garage, not being touched by light, then it's working. If it touches by light, it's just going to crack the glass quicker. Nothing's going to be accomplished.
And you never bleed off the pressure?
No.
Oh, so you want it to blow up like that? That's like the goal behind it, right?
That's when the spell blows up.
Oh.
Sorry, it out in the person's lawn or at a crossroad, they bury it and then they shake it up really good and then shove it in there. So the dark moisture of it and well, not like kaboom blows up, but it just cracks and starts.
Sounds gross and neat.
Stars are very disgusting. That's when I say things you put it in that jar, add some vinegar, a little bit of water, you shake it. You shake it. And you can seal it with candle wax if you want.
And pomade, my ex-girlfriend, and televangelist. What else? Kimchi.
Oh, kimchi.
Yeah, that's all I got.
I mean, you can. Sadly, you can use dog pee and really unsanitary items. Yeah, you can use all that. Like, I'm not gonna
ask you.
If you walk in
I'm not gonna ask where you get. Well, where do you get dog pee? Like you just like follow them around, like just waiting.
There's some people out there that do that, but like if you're animals and they poop all over your ground, you can just put that in a jar. But that's disgusting, in my opinion, too. I've only done the jar work pretty well.
Just just wait for them to, you know, scoot the back feet up and pop a squat and get position and just slide the jar under.
So true.
Yeah. Yeah, like you can get like one of those little grabby sticks or whatever. And you know, it's like a leash for the jar.
Oh
You can just
yeah.
put it under there. Yeah. And then your neighbors would be like, "Why is she carrying a jar of shit? Like what what is wrong with her?"
So true though. It's like she's gonna go put some dog crap in our lawn. Like,
And then they get curious and they get a little bit closer and they see a picture of themselves in the jar and they're like, "What the fuck?"
and then they open it. It's so bad.
Oshkosh Bajosh said, 2 witches, 1 jar. No, I'm banning him. You're banned for that. Sorry, Josh. You can't. No, this is a family show.
It's so traumatic. It's so traumatic.
It is because I'm. Oh no! Stop, Jim.
No.
Let's see if the jar does not explode. Can Doorknob Head? No more questions. Your question privileges are revoked. Okay, so I guess that's all that I have. Do you have any questions for me or anything?
Do you like Ouija boards?
I've used one time at a sleepover, but no, I don't have a
They're
position
boring.
on Ouija boards. I think Milton Bradley is a pretty decent company. Yeah, no, don't have anything against them.
Yeah, that was my only question. Just because.
Right on. Well, Cassandra, thank you so much for joining me. I had a really great time chatting with you about paganism, Wicca, witchcraft, and your religious beliefs and paths and so forth. So I appreciate you joining me.
It's no problem. It's fun.
And for people who want to follow you, how can they do that? Twitter, YouTube, what?
Twitter, YouTube. I have both of them. My Twitter name, I don't even know it off the top of my head. Like that, I've had it forever. And then YouTube, I'm in the YouTube comments as CAD. Like,
I will get both of those links and I will put them in the description. So for anybody who wants to follow her, and they absolutely should, go in and check that out. The Twitter is Cassandra AD 2012. Yeah,
that sounds about right. I'm not entirely sure.
No, not AD. It's just Cassandra D 2012. Yeah, that's right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you everybody for watching and joining this stream. And we will holla at y'all more later. Have a good day.
All right. You too.